Howdy folks, short week, condensed week. If I talk twice as fast, it's because of that. Look, I've just been up to John's out of Paterson. The citrus season has started up there. I've got his fruit right here in store, right in front of me right now. I actually haven't tasted it yet, but in John's very own words, flavour is fantastic. They're not sweet yet, but they're not sour. They're eating quite nicely. He's happy to have started harvesting. He won't pick until he feels that they're eating decent enough. So he has endorsed them, but they're 3 or 4 weeks away from maximum sweetness, but plenty of flavour. As John says, sweetness is actually only one component of flavour. There are so many other elements to flavour. Sweetness is but one. So very juicy, very nice, and they're actually pretty good. The sweetness is good, and they're very juicy. I went out to John's. I took the camera while we went to pick up this very fruit. So let's have a little look. John's biodynamic citrus farm out here at Paterson, and we're up at the shed basically collecting the fruit. Down in the distance, down there, is John's magical orchard. As the season progresses, we shall venture down into there and have a look at things in a little bit more detail. Meanwhile, we've got some fruit to load.
My name's John Priestley. My property here is Talimby. It's one of the original homestead blocks when Talimby was first broke up. I'm a third generation natural sequence farmer. My grandfather and my father were organic to the hilt, and I followed on and became biodynamic because I felt that it was just the next step that I could go. We've been certified since the late 70s, 18 months after we started certification in the country, and have really enjoyed growing the citrus and cattle on this property biodynamically with no chemical input whatsoever. We recycle everything we possibly can and derive all of our inputs on our own property. We're steady enough now. I'm 72 and I'm just about worn out, so we're steadying down on the citrus operation. This year I'm just going to pick the fruit as they come off the trees. I've spent the last 4 or 5 years travelling Australia, helping other people get started with biodynamics. There is no other way but to look how things happen naturally and do it environmentally, and also to overcome the resistance to chemical residue that is turning up in all of our food, and I hope we can turn it around.
As John alluded to in his little speech there, he's in the beginning of his retirement phase, I suppose. So essentially he's winding down. He's not supplying Sydney anymore. He's just supplying one of the very few fortunate people he's supplying. They're unwaxed. They've always been unwaxed, but they're not washed and they're not graded. So there's a mixture of sizes, and they're not as pretty as they have been in past years because they usually go through a bit of a wash to get some of that mark off. Look, John, 72. A couple of less things for him to worry about is a good thing. Now his mandarins will be starting next week, the Imperials, but these ones here are currently coming from Queensland still, and they're supremely sweet. Another fantastic local product, kiwi fruit from Comboyne. We've got 10 available at $2.80. Quality is excellent. It's a nice sized fruit. That's this week's special. Biodynamic pack and pears, yum yum. Nachi pears, nice size. Magnificent Corrie Farm limes, supremely juicy. Great lemons, nice little size. Custard apples still around for something a little bit different and exciting. One bag of limes there, $5. Bananas, they're a smaller size this week. Nice colour. They'll ripen up beautifully for the next day or two. Look, the apples, there is nothing else to talk about other than the Fujis in terms of, oh, they're great. We've got first grade, and we've also got second grade, which do have some skin blemishes. Completely just a superficial issue. The quality in the eating's still there. Golden Dells are eating nicely. Pink Ladies are also really, really good. Slightly tart. grannies, great eating, cooking or juicing. Avocados are a nice size. Finishing sometime in the not too distant future will be the Panama passion fruit, so I'd get you a fill while you can. Sweetened up lovely, plenty of flesh and pulp on the inside. Special for the week in vegetables, celery. These are coming from just south of the Gong. A reasonable sized bunch there, and $2.95. Another local product, this is from Shannon Lee Organics on the Central Coast. Mixed Asian greens, and what we should find in here is some tatsoi, pak choi, those kinds of things. Now these would be great to throw into your stir fries. That's the way that I would recommend using these. Tatsoi, of course, though, that's lovely raw, nice and fresh into the salads, but the bok choy, you could just about get away with having that in a salad. Still magnificent silver beet coming from Pinehaven. Tremendous bunches of radishes too. Look at those, there's lots of flavour and value in there. Hollies vary in size a little bit, they're mostly on the large size. See, that's quite a decent size and nice and clean, so they're lovely. Eggplant will vary between sizes. Around about there, of course, you pay per kilo, so you'll see a slight variation in the unit price. We've got some late season Lebanese cucumbers. They're only little guys, but they're nice and firm and fresh. Late little flush of some long green cucumbers as well, coming from Queensland. Capsicum is very, very limited in supply. Zucchini we've got a reasonable amount of. Plenty of your root vegetables, lots of parsnips, swedes and turnips. And the carrots have just been out of this world. The carrots we've got for you this week are just so sweet and beautiful. They actually dominate the aroma of the cool room at present. That's how good they are. Some of the nicest corn we've seen in some time. There you go. That'll be lovely and sweet. Beans are out of this world. Beetroot is fantastic. Grate it fine, chop some beans, a little bit of lime juice, grate a bit of carrot, some sunflower kernels, and you've got a beautiful little salad there. Ginger has been excellent. Swiss browns, good supply, plenty of, and also plenty of the little button mushrooms as well. You can also buy baby spinach. We've got it loose here, so that's available on the net as well. Some nice broccoli, nice tight heads, well priced as well. My absolute fave. I know I'm a broken record, but the Brussels sprouts, oh. Plenty of brown onions, plenty of Spanish onions, garlic. The giant Russian's holding up quite nicely, and we've also taken arrival today of some really good Italian garlic. Most of our tomatoes this week are the Truss vine ripened creatures, so plenty of flavour, and they're nice and clean as well, which is lovely. Now we've got the tricolours of sweet potato. We've got your gold sweet potato there, nice mixture of sizes. We've got the Asian white, so white skin, purple flesh. I tell you, that's a lovely one to boil up and make mashed potato with. Looks great on a plate. And then of course my favourite, the purple sweet potato. Lettuce, we've got the green mignonettes, some nice cos. Look, that's all for the week. Hope you all had a lovely long weekend, and we'll see you next time.